Well, this is it, the finale of the Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. We're done. You can see they're packing it up for the last time. There is not a race next weekend. The trucks aren't going anywhere but home. The series is over, and finally, we have crowned a champion. And it was actually in doubt down to some of the later laps. Chad Reed decided to step up and win the race and win the championship, and it's done. He's a two-time champ now.
You know, I wasn't surprised about that. You know, I alluded to the fact that on the broadcast that, you know, Jay Springsteen did the same thing in the Grand National AMA Dirt Track Series. And, you know, I think Chad just wanted to make a statement that, you know what, hey, I had troubles. I overcame a lot of things. And, you know, I really didn't want it to go down to the 17th round in Las Vegas. I wanted to wrap this up a couple rounds ago. But unfortunately, having that problem in Detroit with the injury and then, you know, in survival mode to finish up in that 12th. And you start adding up all the points. I mean, that was a huge thing for Chad Reed. I mean, that was probably the hardest race, you know, for him to, you know, overcome. And then Seattle last weekend going down the first turn, he didn't want any of that. But he surprised me, though, coming away with that win. I thought for sure he'd just stay there and let Kevin Windham win 5 and he'd win 8. But 9 for Chad Reed and the championship.
It's kind of funny how it worked out. He was in the position he needed to be in, which was 4th, with all 3 Honda riders, Windham, Short, and Millsaps right there in front. Millsaps fell. He was in 3rd. And he said in the press conference himself, he kind of expected to hang out back there, but the race started coming to him. The other guys got slower. He stayed the same speed. Next thing you know, he was battling with Short and Windham, which probably wasn't the smart thing to do on paper.
Well, he's been in this position before. You know, you got to go back to 04, and he's been in that position last year when the championship came down to the wire. He knows what type of track this is here in Vegas, and he runs it through his head. He knew there were going to be long laps, and like you said, he kind of waited patiently. You know, Millsaps handed him one position by going down. Then he worked on Short, made a beautiful pass on that step on, step off, you know, into that left-handed off camber. And he knew that if he could get up to Kevin Windham, that's exactly where he was going to pass, because that was a golden opportunity to make the pass and make it stick and make it where the other guy couldn't do the step on and step off and they couldn't retaliate. If he made the pass and they stepped on and stepped off, they would pass him back, and then you'd get into that tit for tat type thing and cat and mouse back and forth. But you know, what a great ride and what a great season. You know, for the people watching these video clips, you know, I had an enjoyable time doing them. You know, you did some with me. We had a great time, and Dave Arnold, our cameraman, he did a great job. I want to thank Dave. But what a great season. I mean, all the way down to the end, and most people thought, oh, this championship with Stewart out, Reed's gonna, you know, come away with 14 wins or whatever. Right. But that wasn't the case. We saw, you know, a lot of first-time winners in the series. Josh Hill, Davey Millsaps, and Davey Millsaps stepped up and won a few more. We saw Kevin Windham step up and win 4. So interesting, and I look forward to 09 because of the fact that a lot of the graduates are coming out of that lights class and moving ahead.
And we had a lot of riders who were expected to do damage on 450s that got hurt this year before they do it, so it should be a great year next year. And speaking of those graduates, one more thing to talk about, our light shootout in the books. Ryan Dungey's made history, our first ever 2-time in a row light shootout champ, and he ran down Ryan Villopoto and beat him. That's not supposed to happen.
You know, I think if you go back and you look at that videotape, you know, you're going to study it. I know when I was racing, I always hated it when you ran into lap riders, because I've lost races like that where you're leading it and a lap rider cost the race. And we got to go back to that turn 5, that step on and step off, and Villopoto ran into some lap riders. He was unable to do the step on and step off. Dungey played it beautifully, waited a little bit. He stepped on, stepped off, got side by side with Villopoto and made the pass, and he made it stick. And you know, there was a Toyota truck on the line, so you got to make him stick. And you know, Dungey, he's got a lot of thinking to do in the off season. Does he move up? Does he stay back and win a championship in the lights? And you know, the curse of Las Vegas, that East-West shootout, we didn't see nothing. Well, Trey Kennard did pretty good. You know, he was up on the podium. At least one of the champions was up on the podium, but he was a long way back from Villopoto and Dungey.
Well, that's it. We'll see what class all those guys race next year, what coast. We'll be here to cover it all. We hope you folks enjoy the addition of video content to our webcast this year, but we like the old school audio stuff too. It's a pretty good time. But hey, I guess it's the 21st century now or something like that, so I guess we have to step up just like everybody else.
We're stepping it up. I mean, that's it. I mean, we're stepping it up, and we're going to close it out here in Las Vegas. I'm going back to Planet Hollywood. I'm going to hang out with my buddy James.
That's right.
Hopefully we can get in a little bit of trouble back there. No.
That's what it's all about here.
Yeah, what stays in Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Right, that means we're turning the cameras off we're done here in Sin City.
Well, wait a minute, I like to keep mine on.
Well, that's your own private stash. If we get you a YouTube channel, we're in trouble. That's going to do it for Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. He's Jim Holley. I'm Jason Weigandt. Thanks for joining us. Next Supercross, we'll be back in October at the U.S. Open. We'll see you then.